Naked Heart Revolution is the go-to podcast for high-achieving individuals seeking to transform their relationships and life. Hosted by Jenny Bingham, an intimacy reset coach. Each episode explores emotional reconnection, personal growth, or business insight through expert guests sharing real stories and strategies. Whether you want to deepen your connection with your partner or elevate your business, this podcast delivers the tools and mindset shifts needed for lasting change. Subscribe to join the community focused on intentional healing and empowerment. Hi,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Well, I refer to myself as a relationship coach, right? Like I'm in the insurance industry. I have an insurance business as well, and I'm an investor. But for the purposes of this conversation, I'm a relationship coach.
Nice. Now,
Yes.
the types of relationships, are you looking for the relationships, or no, what types of relationships are you the one to help them with?
Yeah. So I can help with different kinds of relationships, but like typically it's more people that are going through difficulties in their relationship, like people that are uncoupling their relationship. I've worked with Catherine Woodward Thomas for Conscious Uncoupling. I have my Conscious Uncoupling certification, and people that are just like having family dynamics that are having a difficult time in family dynamics.
So when you say family dynamics, the first thing comes to mind is a blended family. You know, one is I don't know, Christian, and then the other one is Hindu or something. That's my first thought, probably because I saw a movie.
Oh, interesting.
And a movie comes to mind, and that's what it comes to. But when you say family dynamics, could you give an example, please?
Well, there's a lot of things that happen in families. I wasn't even thinking specifically about blended families, but even in traditional families, like there's things that happen. There's wounds that come up that people end up creating a story around or a narrative around, and they carry it with them for a long time, and it can create fractures in the family.
Oh, so when you say create a story around, now for people who are not quite sure what exactly you mean, can you give an example?
Okay, so I was the youngest. So for example, my story could be that my family never trusted me to be able to take care of things on my own. Like they always felt like they knew better, or that I wasn't capable enough, that sort of thing. And then that gets woven into the family dynamics from there on in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would show definitely in different aspects, because if they're the youngest, a lot of times like, oh, we want to take care of the youngest. The youngest fantastic. Let's put the youngest on a pedestal and everything take care of. Meanwhile, the youngest is like, no, get away. I want to do things on my own. Like, move it.
Well, there's both. There's both sides. There's some times where it's like, okay, yeah, you take care of me, but then don't treat me like an infant. Don't treat me like an infant. Yeah. So those are the different areas, but like more specifically, when I'm working with people that are going through an uncoupling, my focus is working with the men that are going through an uncoupling.
Okay.
Yeah, I've worked with women as well. Like I do work with both. My focus is more working with men.
Okay, so what would be one of the things that for men is the issue that you see coming up when they're uncoupling?
Yeah, I find a lot of times with men, like all the blame for everything gets put onto the man, and then they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to deal with that, and so they shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you help them through that process.
Mm-hmm.
So is it something where there's a certain situation where they come to you, or they feel a certain way, or they're referred to you, or how do they find you? Like, what is the usually happens?
Yeah, so it could be different ways where they find me. Sometimes it might even be the wife. Like I've had situations where both people want to get help through the uncoupling. And what I've done, I haven't worked with like both people together at this point, but like I'll maybe work with the man and find another coach that is similarly trained to work with the woman.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it's a situation where the woman feels more comfortable to deal with me, then we do that. So I'll talk to the couple and just get a sense of the situation and what they're navigating through, and then
Mm.
help them through the process. Yeah.
And I imagine that because there's so little conversation about how men are getting, assistance and help, usually it's the women this, women that. So it's fantastic to know that you're available to help the men with their uncoupling the relationship so they can get back into the process and help deal with things. So
Yeah. It makes such a difference. Like of course both people need support. Really, both people need support. And I find in society the men are often villainized and the women get a lot of support. And so men are kind of like on this island off on their own and not knowing what they're supposed to do because they're getting blamed for everything. They don't know how to make it better or make it right. And sometimes they end up turning to unhealthy ways of coping. Right. And so this just helps things move through in a more conscious way so that you can have a more confident completion of the relationship.
ooh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So then when someone comes to see you, is
Hmm.
it a time frame where they say, okay, we'll start for a number of weeks or something, or is it automatic? Okay, it'll be, I don't know, a year or something. So can you walk us through the beginning process?
Yeah, so it's a series of weeks. There are different ways to go through the process. So it really I individualize it to the person and where they're at and what their schedule and their timing is like, as to whether we meet every week or whether we meet every other week. I don't really like it to go much past like every other week, to go through the process because there's reading that they have to do and there's exercises that they have to do and have prepared in between our sessions. So they need to have those done. So it needs to be like okay and comfortable enough for them to fit that in amongst everything else
Okay. And the
for
fact that it's
women.
individualized, that'll really boost the availability, the possibility to get things done as required.
Hmm.
So, do you meet them one on one, or do you meet them online, or is there a mixture of both? How does that?
Yeah, I meet them. It's online. Like I primarily work online with people, and I meet with them one on one at this point, and then maybe getting into working with the couples and getting the couples together with fellow couples, and having an experience where they work through things together. So yeah, yeah, it's good. It's actually really amazing to see how people go from like so much anger and bitterness and everything to a beautiful completion.
Oh, oh yeah, the transformation of it all. Hmm.
Hmm.
So, how did you realize that the men are needing more support than the women in the most part? So then, how were you drawn to become the relationship coach for basically men?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, So unfortunately, like I was there when my father went through his divorce from not from my mom. My mom passed when I was young. And so he got remarried and then they ended up splitting up. And so that was my first experience of really seeing how little support men get. Like, and I don't want to say that men are to blame or women are to blame or anything like that. Like it's not about that. It's just recognizing that our society doesn't really have systems in place that much yet. Like I think it's getting there. They don't have a lot of systems in place to support. And then I've had other male friends who have gone through divorce or gone through relationship issues, and they would come and talk to me about it. And so it was just those experiences that really showed me like they don't they don't know what to do. Like they just don't know what to do. They, they're in this situation and don't necessarily feel like they have anywhere to turn to. In my own experience, I went through an uncoupling, and I found Catherine Woodward Thomas's work, Conscious Uncoupling, and I went through it myself as a student, and I kept in touch with some different people that were doing the program at the same time as I was doing it. And the same thing, like I found men that were really not feeling supported. And Catherine's work is amazing. And so it's like just being able to see that. So the combination of everything is what brought me to be like, okay, yeah, this is the direction that I'd like to go into to be able to help support them.
Oh, nice. And then you said that after these experiences and you were just helping out more and more, um, do you work in a certain age group of men when you help them out, or do they have families or do not have families? Does that make a difference?
No, it doesn't. That part doesn't really matter. That part doesn't really matter. What matters more than age or family or anything like that is their willingness to do work,
Mm,
right? And I say work because it actually is. Like it's not a breeze, but going through uncoupling is not a breeze anyway. And so wouldn't you rather do it with somebody that can help support you through the process? And so it's important that it's not somebody who is like looking to blame the other person and not take any responsibility, while at the same time not bearing the full responsibility of it either. But somebody that's willing to look at how they might have contributed towards the breakdown of the relationship, not through blame or shame or anything like that. Just by really being able to look at themselves and accept that they had some part in it, even if it was just a little part in it. They had some part in it, and how do we work through that and accept those parts so that future relationships that you go into
mhm.
start with a better foundation.
Mm, that makes that seems to be such an easy or simple process, but then at the same time, as you mentioned, it takes work. It takes a willingness. So anybody who comes, yeah, I'm here because I'm forced to be here.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to work with someone who felt like they were forced to work with
Well,
you?
if anybody comes to me and they feel that way, that um they're not a candidate to do the work. Yeah, they're not a candidate for me to work with because they're not going to have any progress with any of the activities that we work through. Um, yeah, if they're resistant, like, and they're just closed off to it all,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience too, of like somebody that they were told to come and see you, and then you start working with them and you're like, yeah, you're not open to it. So there's nothing I can do to help you, unfortunately, because sometimes it's those people that probably need it the most.
Mhm.
But if they aren't open to it, then there's nowhere to go with it.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would just let them know the timing isn't right.
Oh,
And
interesting. Oh,
yeah,
that's an interesting way to say it. The timing isn't right.
yeah,
So, in that sense, can you explain that a little bit more? Because that's a good way to put it. The timing isn't right.
yeah. So they're they might just need more time to to be with themselves, to um process through, to they might need other experiences, like, maybe they need to get further along in the divorce process. Maybe they need to work with a therapist in between there. Like,
Okay.
there might be other things. But yeah, the timing just isn't right.
Right. So if people want to get a hold of you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
So I have a website, New Decisions for Life.
Mm,
So they can contact me through there. I'm on Instagram, just Brenda Bryson on Instagram. So those are usually the best ways to reach out and connect with me.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Is there a waiting list right now, or is it just a calendar depends what might be available?
Yeah, just depends on what might be available. So I always like to talk to people. I'll have an initial conversation with them to get an idea of where they're at and what like where they are in the process and what they are actually looking for, what they need. And then I'll explain a little bit more about how the program works and get a sense of just, like I said, where they're at, where I'm at, and have a conversation. And then if it looks to be a fit with everything, then we go ahead. We just work it out between our calendars and move forward with that.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Brenda, for spending this time
You're
and sharing
welcome.
how you help couples, mainly men, navigate through the process so then they would stop the uncoupling and just, strengthen a relationship again.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you and have this conversation.
Excellent. You're very welcome. And
Yeah.
have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. And you as well.